Hey y'all, what's up? What's up? Let's talk about Summer House Martha's Vineyard, Season 2, Episode 3. So I'm feeling like this season kind of started off slow, but it's now starting to pick up speed. The first thing that's the main theme right now in episode 3 is that they're bringing new people, well, actually old people back into the house. So some of these people that they're bringing or discussing bringing back into the house were from season 1, who were kind of considered to be very problematic. The first person was this guy named Alex. No, sorry. His name was Phil. And he was, I would say I would agree with him. He was doing way too much. He was being just kind of like more of an aggressive type of attitude. And I hate to use the word aggressive when describing any person of color or especially African American or Black person. But he was just kind of like, he was just doing too much. Just, let's just put it like that. He was just trying to be combative. I would put it like that. He was being very combative with everybody. So I can see why they don't want to bring him back. I don't care to see him back because I do feel like he would bring an element into the house that's not necessary or needed. The second person they were talking about bringing into the house, it was this girl named Mariah, who happened to be Jasmine's best friend. And so Mariah got into it with Amir, and she also got into it with Bria last season. I feel like really Mariah wasn't too bad. She wasn't really combative with nobody, with anyone. She got into it with a couple of people, and I don't see why she had to be kicked out of the house just because of that. So the issue right now is Amir's okay with Mariah coming back, but Bria is kind of super bothered by it. She feels like the girl shouldn't come back. But what I remember last season was Mariah was irritated with Bria because the dog was pooping and doing extra stuff all over the house, which the dog is there again this year, pooping all over the house. And last year, the issue, if I recall it correctly, Mariah was irritated because the dog was pooping all over the house and she felt like Bria wasn't cleaning up after the dog, which I'm sorry. If that was me, I probably got kicked out of the house too, because I would have probably snapped if I had to keep turning corners and almost stepping in dog poop. So I don't see why it's being pushed as a big issue. Mariah wasn't there just turning up, jumping in everybody's face last year. So I don't see why that's even a big issue. So I am looking forward to Mariah coming back and seeing what kind of element she brings to the house. Not to say that the people who are currently in the house aren't bringing a lot in and of themselves. But it'll be nice to see some issues get resolved. Now, side note, I really feel like Jasmine's bringing Mariah back because Jordan really ain't checking for her. And so she kind of want to bring Mariah in there so she can have a BFF now that Jordan's BFFing with Summer. And so I kind of feel like, yeah, she just really kind of bring her back up in there just to kind of like throw it in Jordan's face. But at the same time, I think Mariah definitely stands a second chance within that house. I feel like she was definitely gone way too soon. And I kind of feel like how they sent her off was kind of tacky. So I really hope to see Mariah back. So the second underlying theme that we have going on in season 3, Noelle and Alex. Now, they're doing like a little back and forth flirting with one another. And it's funny because they're doing back and forth flirting with one another. They haven't made anything like, oh, we about to just date or do whatever with one another. But they've been just back and forth flirting. But you can tell that Alex gets a little bothered when, for instance, some two random friends of the group came and showed up and they had this glow party together. And one of the dudes was flirting with Noelle, and Noelle was flirting with him. You know, they sharing cupcakes and stuff, eating a cupcake together out of each other's mouth, whatever, however you want to describe it. But Alex was visibly bothered by that. And so the following night, or however it played out, a couple of days later, if you will, they all go out to this club, and then Alex is up in there talking and macking to this other girl. It's the way they put it. He's macking on this girl. So Noelle gets bothered by it, and she has a little meeting in the bathroom with some of the girls and saying like, oh, should I be tripping? Is that disrespectful? Or, they trying to tell like, girl, we've been trying to tell you that he is not that guy. You should just not even be trying to take him seriously. So anyway, Noelle decides to sit down with Alex and be like, okay, this is a little uncomfortable situation that we got going on here because, I'm kind of checking for you. I don't know. Do you know that I'm interested in you? He's like, well, yeah, but, I'm just thinking we just being cool. He kind of downplaying the situation, but he definitely was all up in her face. So it's like, boy, you've been knowing that girl is interested in you and you've been trying to show interest in her. So she says to him like, well, if you know that I'm interested in you, it's just kind of weird and awkward for you to be all up on somebody else right in my face. And she was like, but, true at the same time. The other night I was up in somebody else's face. So we both playing it like we single. And he just looking at her like, girl, you doing too much. We ain't made no promises to do nothing with one another. So why are you pressing me about this? And so she kind of gets in her feelings and feels a little embarrassed because he just kind of like blowing her feelings off. And some of the other girls are like, girl, we try to tell you, of course, Summer kind of thinks it's funny. Like, girl, I try to tell you he wasn't no good, but you decided you wanted to pursue him anyway. So, yeah, Noelle leaves the situation feeling a little butthurt and embarrassed. And it's kind of one of those things where I don't really think Noelle's really, really checking for him. I think Noelle just kind of is in a stage where she just probably just wants to hook up maybe with somebody, and she just saw Alex as available and was trying to push up on him. I don't think that girl's really taking that boy that serious. Honestly, I don't think so. But for the show, they had to make it seem like it was more than what it was. But yeah, Noelle, I think she's too smart of a girl to really be even being bothered. Most of the girls in the house don't need to be bothered with Alex. Alex don't even know who he is himself. He looks like he's just out here trying to figure himself out. So none of them girls need to take that boy serious. So, but that's the second underlining issue in there. And then we come to Noelle and not Noelle, Summer and Jordan. So Summer and Jordan are the new BFFs. Now that Jordan's not really checking for Jasmine that much, she's hanging out with Summer. And they're in the same room, actually sleeping in the same bed, all that good stuff. But they start fighting because basically they both, when they want to have a difference of opinion, they like to raise their voice and yell at each other. And so Summer feels like Jordan's always yelling at her and she don't listen to her, but she wants to get mad when she raises her. Summer feels like Jordan gets mad at her when she raises her voice, but Jordan raises her voice at her all the time. And so Preston, he's friends with the both of them. He's like, well, neither one of y'all really listen to one another. Y'all both give the same energy. So what's the deal? But anyway, the episode ends out with Summer and Jordan in the car basically screaming back and forth to each other. And it really is like, what are y'all even talking about? Like, what are y'all even arguing about? Like, what they were talking about and arguing about made absolutely no sense. It was just like a drunk, rampant argument for no reason. Preston's just sitting in the car. Preston and Alex is just sitting in the car like, why are we in the middle of this? So it leaves out with that. But let's quickly let's follow up on the whole Nick thing with him being accused of being too handsy with Jordan and Summer. So Nick does go to Jordan and Summer's room and he tries to address the issue with them. He's like, so do y'all feel like I ever get too handsy with you guys? And they're like, yeah, but you're not doing it in like a creep type of way. You just be too handsy sometimes. And it's like, but to me, it's like y'all did try to make it seem like he was being creepy. So either y'all need to keep it all the way 100 with him, especially if y'all consider him to be y'all's friend. And Nick in his confessional says this. He says, if we're supposed to be actually friends and real friends, y'all should feel comfortable to tell me that I'm doing something that makes you guys feel uncomfortable. And he's 100% right about that. And then even when he leaves the room after discussing with them, I feel like they handled the situation childish because they were like, oh my God. It's like, oh my God, what? Y'all the one who brought it up and made it seem like it was a big deal when it actually really wasn't Pretty much after they bring it up as a big deal, then they say, well, it's not really that big of a deal. I'm like, girl, y'all need to figure it out. I honestly feel like Jordan and Summer are kind of like the house, shit starters. Like they just be making too much out of too little just to get stuff going or to just draw attention to themselves because they're attention seeking. That's my viewpoint on them, but we shall see as the episodes and seasons go on. The episodes and everything are it's heating up. It's getting pretty good. I can't wait till the new people come in the house and stir some things up. Hopefully some people's boyfriends and girlfriends are going to show up, and that's really going to make things crazy. But right now they just been kicking it, partying. It's kind of like a very light type of show. It's light. It's got enough little drama and excitement to keep you interested, but it's kind of like a refreshing type of show. So I highly encourage you guys to watch it if you have not watched it or have been checking for it. Just like I said, peek into it. It's on Peacock, so it's not very expensive. It's a nice little kickback show to watch. So that's all for my review of it, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye bye for now.